Hey, welcome into the arena with Duke here. I just pulled him out of the pasture. He's had about 4 days off because I was gone over the weekend, and he's just a little bit stiff from not working, mostly on the left here today. So I thought I'd show you something that I've been working on with him, and I've done this, today's probably the third or fourth day that I've worked on it, and that is getting that hip to move a little better. And you may notice, by the way, that I took the back cinch off the saddle. I do that with almost every colt in this 20 to 50 ride window, usually because and it's mostly me, I have a tendency to spur the back cinch. And on an older horse that's well broke, it's not a big deal, but on a younger horse, you think you're putting pressure on them and you're not, because you're putting your spur on the back cinch. So I take it off to make sure until this hip movement gets pretty good. So I'm going to show you one way that I work on it using the fence. And I think, and I'm trying to remember, I believe the last time I worked on it using my left leg, moving his hip to the right. So today I'm going to do the opposite. I typically will work on this kind of a drill, just one direction, and then if some days I'll do two, but mostly I'll do one. And here's how you do it. You get parallel to the fence like this, and I'll do it real slow so you can watch. Hopefully my camera girl will zoom in a little bit here. So I'm parallel to the fence, and while I'm walking, I am going to slightly tip him into the fence and push his hip to his left using my right leg, leg position 3. And the reason I have this quirt is because if he doesn't move it to my satisfaction, as well as I know that he knows how to do it, then I'll reach down and tap him like that with this quirt. It actually works a little better than a spur on most horses, and it does with him too. And the spur and the quirt, the rule's the same. You only use it to back up your leg. If you want to get a horse real jumpy and goosey, just start whacking them with a quirt like this. And it won't take very long and they'll be jumping out from under you, because it's not fair, all right? So if I use it, I may not need it, but if I use it, I'll just reach back and tap him right behind my leg to ask him to go ahead and to move it to my satisfaction. Okay, so let's do it from a standstill. I'm just going to reach back with my right leg, push. Pretty nice. That was actually pretty nice. And I want him to move it past 90 degrees, which he did. You may not be able to see the angle, but I want him to move his hip about 100 degrees. And then as soon as he does, I'll move my foot from leg position 3 to leg position 1, and I'll ask him to move his shoulder and walk out of it. Okay? So let's do it at a walk. I think he might do pretty well with it. I'm going to get parallel to the fence. I'm about 3 feet from the fence. All right, tip his nose in, push with my leg. Want that hip to come around, Pretty nice, pretty nice. Now move my foot, put it up here by the shoulder. Come along, let's do it again. Tip him into the fence. Push with my leg. There I had to use my spur and my quirt because he was getting a little draggy with it. Okay. All right. So now let me come around and I'll start again. And there's one thing I want to show you here. When you're using a snaffle bit, and probably a Bozal as well. Right rein controls the right shoulder. Left rein controls the left shoulder. So when I tip him to my right into this fence, what I will probably need to do is lift on my left rein to stop that left shoulder from moving to the left, because I don't want his shoulder to move. So watch me, I'll do it again at a walk. I don't really want his shoulder to move, I only want his hip to move. So let me come over here, get parallel to the fence. Okay, so I'm gonna tip him into the fence, push with my right leg, lift with my left hand, stop that shoulder. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now move leg position 1, move your shoulder over and leave it. Okay, let's get over here, parallel to the fence. Reach back and push with my leg. Not bad. He didn't quite stop his shoulder, so I'm going to lift that left rein. Move your shoulder with leg position 1. Let's do one more. push with my leg, tip him in. He's still crab walking a little bit with that shoulder, but that's not really a big deal at this juncture. All right, let's try it at a trot. Come around here, and if I weren't videoing this, I would just keep going on around the arena, but I'm trying to stay where the camera can follow me pretty nicely. Okay, here we go. Push with my leg, tip his nose. So I lost a little bit, and that's to be expected when you speed up. And he does this. That's actually him trying to outsmart me. He thinks that if he can get over here, he can get out of this. All right, move your shoulder. There we go. Okay. So you notice how slow I worked out of that? I didn't get mad at him. I didn't start jerking and pulling and cussing. I just held my pressure and gave him time to work his way out of it. If you get, was he being a little bit naughty? Yeah, a little. But that's just, horses have a natural tendency to avoid things. So I'm not going to get mad at him for that. I'm just not going to reward it, right? And just give him time to think it through. Eventually he'll quit doing it. All right, let's trot. Okay, tip his nose, push with my right leg. Bring that hip, okay. And he did the same thing. That's all right. Trot out, here we go. Tip his nose. Okay, so that one's a little ugly, but he did it. Okay, one more, push, 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 push. Okay, there we go. And he's, okay, he's, I'm just laughing because he keeps sticking that head up over the fence and trying to evade me. And, every horse has their own personality. And this horse is an introvert, so he's let me see how I can explain it. He's kind of when he rebels, he's going to do it quietly, and like the kid sitting on the back row throwing paper wads when the teacher's not looking. That's the kind of horse he is. He's not going to do something that's real wild and crazy. He'll just try to figure out something to get away with not working. Okay, let's try it again. Here we go. Push with my right leg. And I want him, there we go, that was better. I was just about ready to ask him to leave when he spun his butt around and went into the fence there. So let me see if I can hold my hand a little lower and keep him from doing that. He's actually moving his hip pretty nicely, which is what this exercise is about, but that's typical. You work on one thing, something else comes up. Okay, there we go, there we go. Okay, so that time I kind of cut him off. Okay, see that stiffness right there? Okay, that's him saying, nope, I don't want to do this. So again, I'm not going to get mad at him, but I'm also not going to reward it either. I'm not going to reward it by letting the pressure off. Okay, here we go, tip him in, push with my right leg. And I just got a little farther from the fence that time and worked a whole lot better. So he didn't quite run into the fence. Okay, now let's see what he does at a walk. Let me just walk towards you, and I'm going to pretend the fence is here on my right. I'm going to tip him, push, push, push. That was pretty nice, and come out of it. Oh yeah, so I like that a lot. I still had to pull harder on the reins to keep him from going forward than I would have liked, but he moved his hip pretty nicely. Now let's see what he'll do if I just stand here. I'd like him to do this without me pulling. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. See, I'm barely pulling just to remind him, don't go forward. So he's learning this. Okay, that wasn't perfect, but he's learning what that cue means. Let me just check him out on the other direction, which I haven't asked him for yet. Okay, just to see what I get. Leg here, okay, pretty nice. I saw his mind thinking about it as soon as I touched him. He's not moving it very well, but he's doing it. Okay. All right. So I'm about a little over a month away from his first competition. And I'll hopefully make one more video. I plan to take him over to a friend of mine over by Joplin who has a lot of obstacles in his back pasture, and let Duke practice on those obstacles. So if I can, I will get a video of that, and then the next one will be the actual competition. So stay with us, Educating Duke.